Hello. It's that time. Time for car talk. There you go. There's your theme song. I'm not editing any music into this. You're just going to listen to me on this drive. I kind of was not really intending to have a little chit chat here this time around. I kind of got in the car and realized I actually did not plan anything. But here we are. So apparently I'm doing this. So they're probably not going to have any real specific topic like I did last time. Probably going to be more of a general thought thing. Probably most what's probably most on my mind recently is I did go ahead and decide to move forward with getting a computer. If you have not heard through the chronicles of Ben and Computerness, I've had my computer for about I think it'll be 6 years come next year. So, I've gotten a pretty good lifespan out of it. It also was only around $600 at the time. But I did get through a guy who kind of specialized in cheap but effective parts, essentially. So I had a really old processor, but the processor was a very good old processor. So even though nobody was really buying them anymore, it was still a really good processor. So things like that, where I was able to get stuff on the cheap for the most part. And my PC, for the most part, it does mostly what I need it to do, honestly. But in trying to push the limits of what I can do capture-wise, not only in terms of, doing dual capture with streaming and also recording a game at the same time, I also have ran into issues with video editing in general has been a challenge with it overall. There's might be a lot of other problems with it, but specifically, I think it has to do with maybe I'm trying to think of what exactly would be the exact problem, and this is probably part of the reason why buying a computer is so hard for me, because I don't necessarily know what component addresses what. I do believe having a good processor is important for video editing, and I believe having a good graphics card is important for encoding. So to my understanding, those probably are very important for those two things, for capturing and editing, but I don't 100% know. So it's one of those things that I'm hopefully this addresses my issues to some degree, but it's also because I'm too stupid to really know too much that hopefully it's just not something as simple as hey, the read-write speed of my drives or whatever is too slow, so the application will hang because of that, which honestly probably is part of the problem to some degree, because I favored space over speed with my storage, and I think that will basically require me to probably make some changes to my workflow if I do that. But it's just kind of time in general, and I use my PC all the time, so I think the value proposition is there for me. Pretty much any amount of money I spend, I will get good value out of it. It's just the amount that I'm willing to spend, kind of thing. So yeah, so I've been trying to do that, which has been an exciting time. There's kind of 3 different ways you can go about getting a PC, from what I can tell. One is the pre-built route, so you can go ahead and essentially build a PC, or buy just a PC already created. Just get whatever they already include in there. And then there's also the route of you can build your own PC, but basically everybody told me that is almost impossible in this year of late 2021, where supply chain shortages are still happening. People are still buying up GPUs for Bitcoin mining and stuff, or cryptocurrency mining in general. And then also just general shortages of parts, scalping that's happening, supply chain issues, all these things adding up to basically make it really, really hard to find those components in a reasonable fashion, kind of thing. So, and then there's the third option, which is basically go through a PC builder website, which essentially is hey, you have the actual website PC Parts Picker or whatever, which is you build your own thing, but you can build it on that website basically. But then you also have Origin PC, where you can basically select the parts and then go ahead and purchase. The problem I had with Origin PC, and again, I don't really know that much about parts and things like that and how hard it is to get them, but I found that Origin PC's pricing looked pretty bloated compared to like pre-built PCs and stuff. So I kind of questioned going that route because it seemed very pricey, and I didn't really like know what was necessarily driving up that price. And when I look at the parts, even like when you look at the parts individually, it did not really check out, even with like inflated GPU prices and things like that. So I don't know, maybe it's great, maybe it's awesome, and I don't have the expertise to really sit there and say, you know, how much PC parts or Origin PC, you know, is adding in terms of value. But there's also this other one called like Cyber Pro, and that seemed more like in my price range, and it also seemed to have more options in general. So that was exciting, doing all that. So I think that's what's probably going to end up happening is I'll probably do that Cyber Pro, whatever it was. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. My coworker told me about it. Also, I need to practice talking slowly. I keep going fast, so let me talk slowly, and hopefully it doesn't sound too bad when I do this. Anyways, so that was just like a giant headache. And then also I'm trying to get like a 4K capture card, and apparently like it requires a particular type of slot on a motherboard that isn't just like the standard one I use, which makes sense. When I tried to put a 4K capture card in my current PC, I ran into problems where like the actual slot didn't support the speed of which that card needed essentially to operate. So yeah, it was an adventure, and I don't like shopping for computers, I think is what I finally determined. I think it want to be like one thing I do kind of or wish I did was I do wish I built a PC because it is something that's kind of I don't know how to put it, like, you know, I think when you're growing up and you're looking at computers and learning about them and things like that, there's always kind of the dream of like, I want to build my dream PC or whatever, right? But it just like so I think there's a part of me is like, yes, I want to put together a PC on my own, build it from scratch and put it together and get that experience. And then even if you like set the component shortage aside, I think I still probably would not necessarily do that today, just because I'm so busy with so many other things that it's just really hard to justify like learning how to build a PC just to do it once, right? Maybe if I had like a ton of extra free time, but at this point at least, I don't. I think I also just missed my turn, which is cool. Whoopsie. So yeah. Well, anyways, I think what's going to happen here is I'm going to be lost for a little bit. So you know what that means. That's the end of this. I don't think I'll be coming back, but there's my little PC building rant. Glad I could help you enjoy that. Glad you could help me get lost. A good time, and all is swell. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for coming. Hope you guys have a great week. Bye.